Alright, hello guys, we're working on our Mary Blair castle project. I have saved my photo of my castle to my desktop as Mary Blair Castle, so I know where to find it, and it is labeled so I know how to find it. So I'm going to open up my Google Chrome or whatever web browser you're using, go to pixlr.com, that's Pixlr.com, and we're going to choose Advanced Pixlr E because we are advanced, we can handle it, we're going to hit Advanced. We're going to open our image. Like I said, I chose to save mine to my desktop, labeled as Mary Blair Castle. You should save yours wherever it saves. I think yours saves as an image in your images when you take the photo on your Chromebook. But make sure to relabel it so you know what it is and it's not just a bunch of numbers. So for the HD question, just hit apply. It's fine. It's going to do what it does. So when you get there, your image might be the wrong direction. To fix it and make it go the right direction, you need to hit image and then go to image rotation. I'm going to rotate mine to the left and it's going to fix everything. You might not have to do this. If it's right set up, it's right set up. We're going to crop it just like we did our spirit animal project. You might have to zoom out for this. I'm going to put the bars for the side as close to my image as I possibly can without cutting off things. I don't want to cut off any of the drawing that I worked so hard on, so I'm going to try not to cut things off. When I zoom in though, I notice there's a little bit over there that the whiteboard's in it, and I don't want that. I don't want the whiteboard in it. It's kind of in a weird position. So what I am going to do is I'm going to hit free distort, and I'm going to start dragging those little edges so that the image expands a little bit. It goes a little bit wider, and that's going to fix my problem. It's going to get rid of that extra board in there. So when I got that, it looks pretty good. I like it. So I'm going to mess with the zoom. I'm using 2-finger zoom. You can use the little zoom toggle over there if you want to in the navigate section. But I'm going to hit the scissors, that is say cutout mask. I'm going to hit lasso mask. It looks like a lasso up there like a cowboy would use. You need to use this. You're going to click on one spot and drag your mouse. You have to try to trace around all of the little areas that you made your castle. Don't have to be super exact, but it's better to leave white around it rather than just, cutting things off that you spent so much time to draw. You have to connect it. Try to get rid of as much of the white space at the top and not your castle as possible, so you're making one big loop and it gets rid of everything in the loop. So, like I said, it gets rid of everything in the loop. So all the extra that I noticed that I left because I was a little sloppy, I'm going to circle with my lasso mask, and it is going to cut it out. And then I can zoom in. Once you get fully zoomed in, you can't drag because you have your crop tool enabled. But you can use the little sliders on the sides. So there's one on the side to go up and down, one on the bottom to go side to side. You can use that to maneuver around your image. And just take your little lasso mask and you're going to really exactly this time cut out all of those little white areas. This way we get a clean image, and when we add a background to it later and start our animation process, that's going to mean that you don't get something that is sloppy. You don't have white things that pop out. So this is me going into full-on speed mode, as one would say. So this video originally took me 33 minutes to record, which means it took me 33 minutes to finish this project in total, and that is after I finished my drawing. So you should not finish this in one class period. It's going to be really sloppy if you do. You need to take the time to do this. I realize that it's tedious. It is tedious, but we're doing something really cool that involves animation. And it gives you the opportunity to practice something digital that's not just on paper, and gives you some graphic design experience. So put that on your 6th grade resume. As you start to get towards the ends, be careful. It can be easy to click on other things and kind of move things that you don't want to. So now I'm clicking into the gradient, that little box down there to the side. You're going to find it's going to show you this yellow and purple one. I didn't like that, so I'm going to click in that little tab. I'm going to click color, and I'm changing it. I decided that I wanted mine to be purple. I'm going for a night sky look, so I think the gray to the blue to the purple will be fine. Now, if you find one that you don't want to change the colors, that's fine. You can just stick with it. But I kind of like the way that that looks. So I'm going to click out of there, and it's going to change it to my gradient. I'm going to drag, click, and drag to create it. So to get our background above it, our castle, we're going to hit duplicate layer. How I got to this, I clicked the 3 little dots on that layer in the layers section. Now I'm going to drag my background copy up, and my castle is on top of my gradient. Look at that. It's like a night sky behind my castle. I really like it, and I didn't have to do it on my own on paper. So now comes the stop motion part. We watched that video about the movie The Missing Link and how they had to do all of those different processes. This is me picking my brush, by the way. I'm going to draw on here. We're now going to do that by drawing on top of our image digitally. So I'm going in with white, and you have to click in the layer drawing on, so I have to go back to my gradient layer, which is new layer 2. But I'm going to make stars in my background. I like stars. If you wanted to do like wind, or you have some kind of cool design in mind, feel free to do it. But I'm going to draw a few, and I'm going to hit save. This is the stop motion part. I can only do so much at a time for the stop motion to work. So I title mine MBC1, Mary Blair Castle 1 is what that stands for. And I'm going to save it. The reason I put the 1 there is so that I know what order my photos go in when I make my animation. So it's going to download, it's going to show you an ad, you hit close, you go back in there, pick your brush again, it'll pick up right where you left off at the same settings, and you can mess with those settings all that you want to get what you need. But I'm going to add more little lines in. When I'm pretty satisfied with that, I'm going to hit File, Save, and I'm going to save it as MBC2, Mary Blair Castle 2. I'm going to do this for every single image that I create for my animation. In my case, it was 20. I made 20 whole images to animate, which is really kind of good, but as you'll see, because now I've put it in speed mode, it takes me a while. And I'm kind of doing big chunks at once instead of little chunks. The smaller changes that you make and the more images that you save, the better quality your animation is going to be. So you'll notice at the end when I show you my animation, it's kind of, I don't know, not that great, a little jagged, it doesn't fit together super well. That's because I sped through this process because I wanted to teach you it. But as you can tell, I'm adding all kinds of different things, just a little bit at a time and saving them. Each are numbered. So I went MBC1 to MBC20. Each one has its own number, but they're all labeled MBC because it makes it easier to find. So I'm going to Google Photos. You can back it up and see how I got here if you want. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to click that upload button in the upper right hand corner. I know it's hard to find because here I couldn't find it, but I'm going to click it. When you click it, hit computer, because these are coming from your computer. What this means is yours are downloads and mine are downloads too. So you have to go to the downloads section. You're going to see, I'm just going to search MBC and it's going to all pop up, which is fine. You can do it that way too. I don't know how Chromebooks work, but you can try it. So MBC 1 through 20, I'm going to hit MBC 1, I'm going to hit shift, and then I'm going to hit the bottom one. It's going to pick all 20 images for me so I don't have to do them all at once. So I have all of my images are uploading to Google Photos. Please use shift. If you don't, you'll have to do each one individually. So when they're uploaded, I'm going to go to Utilities. I'm going to go to Animation. Once I click Animation, I'm just going to click everything I added today. Now, if you're like me, there's a bunch of photos that you sent to your sister this morning. Unselect any photos that are not your animation. That will mess up your animation. You'll have a random photo of whatever it is you took other than this today. So then you're going to hit Create. And it is going to create an animation for you. It's really great. You'll notice it takes all my little drawings and it animates them. It just puts them side by side. So it's like stop motion animation. It's got a little glitchy though. So like I said, the smaller changes you make, the better. But this is my animated castle. I hope this helps.